All right. Welcome back to episode 12 of season 2 of Let's Talk Voice.
Hello, hello.
How's it going, Kevin?
It's good. It's good. We took our last week off.
Hmm.
We both had some odds and ends going on,
Yep.
but it was good. It was good to kind of hit that pause button a little bit and then come back swinging. So,
Exactly.
some odds and ends on the plate today, though. We've got a couple pop items that we're going to talk about, a couple pop
Hmm.
beans, and we're going to switch into a pretty interesting discussion that I could I could talk for a few hours on, but I won't. Um, and then a couple pieces and parts to kind of wrap it up a little bit. So, but
Nice.
as you know, this is called Let's Talk Voice. So let's bring up a topic that has to do with talking, right? Um, I know, I still got it, still got it. Uh, so actually, yesterday was the first cell phone call, and it's kind
That
of
is crazy.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it in a second, but on April 3rd, 1973, Martin Cooper, who was working for Motorola, and so that's even a name that is still out there.
Hmm.
And this was kind of like a, I don't know what you want to call it, move, like a, I don't know, maybe arrogant, whatever. Um, he called his rival who worked for AT&T, which at the time was Bell. So he stands outside the office in New York City on 6th Avenue in Manhattan and called his rival saying, "Hey, just wanted to let you know I'm talking to you from the first cell phone." Like,
That's
ouch.
awesome.
How does that hurts.
Right?
But I just thought that was neat, and it's kind of laid that foundation for things that have built upon it. The wireless technology that's really started to grow from like radio and things. So,
Hmm.
where we've come from there with the internet and all that. But it was just a I could keep going on about this article and how it developed because they were from Motorola was from Chicago, and then
Ah,
you know
nice.
uh, Bell
I didn't
was
even know
in.
that.
Yeah, yeah. I think they were bought recently a couple years ago by Lenovo, so they're
Okay.
now like a division of Lenovo. But it's kinda neat to see how these things all play out to it.
Hmm.
Um, but actually, I said it was kinda almost arrogant, but it wasn't really an arrogant phone call because, uh, the gentleman, Cooper, that's who called first, he says that he wasn't averse to rubbing his nose in the whole thing, it was very polite, so
Okay.
that was kinda good. But, it was $3,900. And that was in 1973.
Wow.
So, I don't know if that's the adjusted market value or what that was mentioned in the article, but that's pricey, you
Hmm.
know? But, um, what was your first cell phone? Do you remember?
First cell phone?
Yeah.
Probably a Nokia.
Okay. The indestructible brick, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Mine was the StarTAC. It was a flip phone.
Really?
I don't know if you Google it sometime, it was like the Motorola StarTAC. The
Okay.
battery pack was on the front. It almost looked like a Razor in a way, like
Okay.
the precursor to the Razor phones. But, yeah, I
Nice.
had that when I started driving. My mom's like, "Here's this," and you could you could text on it, but it cost you, like, 50 cents every time. I was
Right, yeah. I
"Don't write
forgot about
back.
that.
Don't write back." "Yes, mom, I made it to wherever." You know, "Don't write back." There was no
Mhm.
thumbs up emoji either,
Yeah,
but
so funny.
but but yeah, I had that, and then I think I had a few more flip phones from there, like 1 or 2 more flip phones, some maybe like the Razor and an LG phone in there somewhere,
Okay.
and then I got into BlackBerry territory.
Mm.
So I had the Blackberries for a while, and I still remember going into it was a Verizon store, and I was due for an upgrade, right? And I was
Mhm,
super excited because I'm gonna get the latest BlackBerry. And the salesman, he's like, "Nah, nah, man, you want this iPhone thing that just came out." I'm like, "What? No, where's the keyboard? I can't type on that." You know?
mhm.
So I turned him down, got myself a BlackBerry, and then everybody else had iPhones, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm an idiot."
No, I was in the same boat. I got my first, smartphone. I think it was after my first tour. Um,
Okay.
the salesman did talk me into the iPhone. I'm like, "Okay, sure, I guess, whatever."
Yeah, yeah,
I went home and like used it that day. The next day, I went back. I was like, "Here, give me something else." This is a
yeah.
pile of garbage.
Right, right.
And I got a BlackBerry. So,
Nice, nice. Oh, man. Well, we need our Blackberries, we could be texting out, typing out our code, right?
right.
Um, Speaking
Yeah.
of, code and secret code,
Oh,
we might have to come up with, like, some code words so that you know it's me and I know it's you, because there's something about a secret invasion.
there
Do you know
is
anything
a
about this
secret
world?
invasion. You're killing it tonight, man. So yeah, Secret Invasion launched their official trailer, I believe, yesterday. Also, it might have been a couple days ago, but I believe it was yesterday. It looks pretty cool. Samuel L. Jackson kills it in this trailer. We'll see if the show is as good as the trailer is. I
Yeah.
can't wait for it. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of um, Moon Knight,
Okay. Yeah.
but more action and more. I mean, it's Denzel, so can't
Right.
really
Right.
have a horrible. I mean, you can, but he'll still do an amazing job.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for that myself. It's hitting the coming out, I believe, in June, June 21st of this year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
pretty exciting.
It's it's
If you,
crazy how they
yeah,
keep that under the wraps so much,
I
because
know.
they hint about this stuff,
Uh huh.
with Captain Marvel, and there's like, oh, maybe this, maybe that, and then flash forward and like, how did they? Because that takes time to, record all that or film all that stuff, and
Hmm.
how they keep it all under wraps is crazy.
It is. Um, And if you guys don't know what it is Marvel's Secret Invasion, the comic Secret Invasion. I think it was called Invasion,
Mhm.
where the Skrulls come to Earth and replace superheroes or political leaders all around the world, and you can't tell who's who because certain scrolls can actually manipulate their super scrolls can manipulate powers.
Right.
They can be the thing. They can be uh, Human Torch. I'm naming
Yeah.
Fantastic Four because that's what Super Skrull mostly has. Uh, but it, it it's pretty. It's going to be. What am I trying to say? Um, it'll be epic, I guess. That's
Yeah.
not what I
Yeah.
was going for, but it'll be
It'll
epic
it'll have like some far-reaching uh repercussions, I think. It's gonna touch other aspects of the Marvel universe,
for sure.
but
Yeah,
yeah, they're kind of like Mystique from the X-Men, if you've seen any of those.
Mm-hmm.
except on steroids because she can, the scroll can manipulate their abilities and stuff, or
Super
mimic,
scroll.
mimic.
Super scroll.
Super scroll. Yeah,
Regular scrolls can only manipulate or change shape,
yeah,
like Mystique.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Pretty cool.
yeah.
Pretty cool. But um, yeah. So there's a lot to look forward to for that. I'm excited for it. Um, I do want to shift into our meaningful conversation here,
Okay.
and I don't, I don't want to be negative on this one. I do just want to have a solid conversation about it.
Yeah.
And what brought this meaningful conversation up, and this is just, Alexa talk, um, the platform and use cases, uh, growth potential, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so, my first question for you, Will, would be, do you use your Alexa devices every day? And that's just a straight yes or no answer.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm in the same boat. Every day I do. And even if I'm not actively developing for an Alexa device, I'm
Mm-hmm.
still using the functionality.
Same. Same.
And it's not just me, but the other members of my household as well.
Mm-hmm.
My wife's checking the weather and the kids are playing music, um, scores, news, those types of things, right? Turning on lights and just some of that smart home stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is your use case similar, or how do you use your devices?
Yeah, yes, very similar. The only thing I think I guess no, I play games on it more than the rest of my family, but my son likes to, do the animal of the day or something like
Yeah.
that. Those kind of things. Also, if there's something that shows up on the screen, uh, and he is in a room with a screen and sees that thing, he'll
Okay.
try it out. So,
Perfect.
but my wife is mostly music, check the weather, uh, maybe news, but not usually,
Hmm.
and also like turning off lights and all that kind of stuff, smart home stuff. So,
Okay. Okay. So y- a lot of, and we've touched upon this in the past in our previous episodes, if you want to go back and listen.
mhm.
Um, but you're mainly on a stationary device in your home, correct? You're not using uh, the auto too much, or you're not using it out and about on your phone. You're not using the Alexa stuff, at
um,
the park or anything.
well, we don't go out that much. If
Same,
we
same.
do, and I only have auto in one of my cars, and I barely use it, so
Hmm.
that's out. And I do have buds that I will use in the summer, mostly.
Okay,
And because I use them for listening to music while mowing the grass,
same, same.
and they're echo buds. So use
Hmm.
them, uh, use all the on the go stuff for that.
Yeah.
Although I am going to bring them along. I don't know if I'll use them, but I'm going to bring along just in case if I do when I go to Disney because
Yeah, yeah.
of Craig's. I believe it was Craig. Uh,
Hmm.
his Disney mouse house or mouse something.
I'll have to
Uh,
check the name on it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
forgive me, Craig. But I want to try his thing in Disneyland. So,
Hmm.
how about you? Did you use much mobile, or is it just in-home devices?
So my stuff is, I'm gonna say 98% in the house. Um, I did pick up an auto device,
Hmm.
but I find that when I get in the car, I plug my phone in just to charge it or for the GPS or whatever, and that automatically in my vehicle automatically pops up Android Auto.
Same.
So I have access to my music and
Hmm.
my directions, and there's even weather widgets on there
Yeah.
and things like that. So there's no for me, it's almost redundant,
Hmm.
right? And uh, even if I'm not the one changing playlists on the go or whatever, which I can do through my steering wheel if I need to, um, I I could just touch it very quickly and say play this and do that. So I am using voice to do some of
Right.
that, but I'm not using the Alexa platform for it.
Yeah. Uh,
That's just my experience there.
mhm.
Go ahead. So I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that's exactly what I do in my main car
Mhm.
is I use Android Auto. So,
Yeah. And so
um,
my I'm sorry.
yeah. No, go ahead.
So my use case for like mowing the grass and things like that is the same thing. I have my buds. I did pick up a pair of buds, right?
Yeah.
But I can tap them to do things as well. I,
Hmm.
I think it's the buds, yeah. And I can tap to change things. So when I'm on the mower and I have the buds in and I have these big uh, earmuffs over them, like hearing protection over them, I just lift my finger, tap, and I go to the next track or
Mm.
fast forward or whatever. I'm not really screaming, play next or whatever over the sound of my massive old lawnmower. So, that's why I'm saying 98% of my use
Yeah.
case is in the house. Um,
Now,
I
quick
w-
question though.
sure, sure.
What version? Version 2 or 1?
I was cheap and picked up the one.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cheap.
That's what I got.
Um, Now I will say that I have notifications set up
Hmm.
um, through Alexa, so I get notifications on whether when my baseball team, the Pirates, are
Oh,
playing
yep.
or losing,
Hmm.
mostly losing. But so I have those pop through, and I'll get a notification that way, and I also get that on my phone too.
Okay.
So, but again, I run into a lot of duplicates and redundancy because my baseball app also tells me when the game's starting. Well, then Alexa does as well. You know, um, news about certain things like or traffic reports or something like that. They do pop up on my screen, which is nice if I'm out and about.
Hmm.
Um, but those are very limited use cases, and it still ties into the fact that 98% is probably inside the house. So,
I
that's
I
part
had a
of it.
question for your baseball thing.
Sure.
Do you ever say like bring up the game on my TV or anything like that?
So, that's a very challenging question for MLB because things are often blacked out and stuff, but I can do that. Um, I can say open the MLB TV app and
Okay.
it'll do it that way. So I can
Okay.
do that. Um, which again, inside the house though, like the TV
Yes. Yeah.
aspect. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to bring up the TV next. I use voice quite often for TV. It is so simple when you have kids to just
Yeah.
say, open Disney Plus and play, blah, 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 and it'll pop through
Oh,
and play with
how
you.
do we do that? That is great.
Ah, I have to, because those kids are nuts. Um,
Well, my
so,
son just takes over the remote, so
oh, so you don't even have a choice.
no.
Yeah. So, um, that's us. That's our use and stuff like that. And the reason that I ask this is because there's been some stuff on social media popping up every once in a while about are you using Alexa devices? And Do you use Alexa? How often do you use Alexa? These are coming from, you know, people within Amazon, and they're coming from just outside people too, just in the tech
Hmm.
space, tech bloggers and things. And they're asking about this stuff. And I wanted to bring it up just to kind of get our feel for it.
Yeah.
And some of the responses that are out there on this do make sense, you know. Um, and this is where I don't want to go negative, but there's a lot of frustration with voice. Um, and I still feel like this is an early platform though. So I think there's definitely potential for it to grow.
Hmm.
And I think with, the machine learning and the AI and the voice recognition stuff, it's all growing. It's going to get better. But what frustrates you about voice tech, Will? Or would you like me to start this off? Because
You can
I could
start this
bring it.
one off.
Okay, sure. My biggest frustration is that it is not more popular or mainstream, right?
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
I wish everybody everybody has a smartphone in their pocket, right?
Hmm.
Anymore, most people do,
Yeah.
and um, it doesn't matter if you're an iPhone user, an Android user, BlackBerry, whatever, Windows Phone. I miss Windows Phone. I like that, but it doesn't matter what you're on. You can still communicate. You can still interact. There's an app for that, right?
Hmm.
And that just doesn't seem to be the case with the voice tech, right? It hasn't caught on as much as I hoped it would. Um, growing up and watching like Star Trek and everything, you know, I was thinking like, man, we're gonna have flying cars and we're gonna be talking to our
Computer.
everything. Yeah, our computer, everything. And that's just not where we're at.
Hmm.
Even though I know it's early and I know the it takes a lot, but I don't know that people are adopting it like developers hope, right?
Yeah.
Um that's a challenge and that's frustrating, right? Is it worth my time to develop my photography skill on Alexa
Hmm.
versus Android or iOS or whatever? Just a web app, just
Hmm.
throw it in a web app and be done with it because that goes everywhere, right?
Right. Yep.
Um, but I still enjoy the experience, and that's part of it.
Yeah.
Um, I
I'm
know
with
that
you.
a lot of people experience frustrations, the ones that have it, whenever it incorrectly heard something,
Hmm.
which it for me, it seems to come and go. Um, Sometimes it'll pick up my 3-year-old's voice perfectly, even though I ask, "Wait, what did you say?" But Alexa nails it, you know?
That's
Um,
crazy.
our good friend Karthik, right? He had a post recently about, he said, "Oh, I love to wake up in the morning and my kiddo says, 'I love you.'" And when she actually said E-I-E-I-O, was singing the old McDonald thing of E-I-E-I-O, and he's like, "Oh, I thought they said I love you," you know? But, yeah, so there are times that it just doesn't get it right, and it is frustrating when you have to stop it mid-sentence, wait for it, and then repeat what you said when you're pretty sure you were very clear to begin with, right?
Hmm.
Um, and there have been times where I feel like I go through a period where I'm just getting incorrect stuff every once in a while. It's probably been a year or so since those
Mm.
things. And I'm sure that some of it has to do with device location and
Yeah.
and bouncing sound waves and acoustics and all that
Yep.
stuff.
Hmm.
But there are times when I want to play a song and I'll say the song and it's just like, what? Here I am with my I don't know. I'm just throwing out an example. My super religious parents, and here I am throwing death metal, whatever, like, you know, jamming along, right? But uh it is frustrating when it incorrectly hears something and you have to figure out how to get it to do what you want it to do.
Hmm.
And that's
Hmm.
that's partly not Alexa's platform, the Alexa platform's fault. Sometimes it's a developer thing too, right? You're
Or the
trying
devices.
or the device, that's true. So you say something that you makes sense to you, right? Like, this is how I talk. This is how I say this in real life.
Hmm.
But if it's not coded that way, then yeah, so if it's not coded that way, then what how do you get around that? You have to come up with a new way of thinking and figure it out that way. So I get the incorrect things that
Hmm.
it's not hearing things. Um I know personally, and jump in, stop me from rambling if you need to. But I know personally another frustration, and this was before a lot of the Alexa answers, if you've
Hmm.
heard some of those,
Hmm.
but you always used to get that answer of, "I don't know that," or "I can't help you with that."
Yeah.
You'd wanna say, like, "When was the last time, uh, that the world hot dog eating contest took place?" Or whatever, right? And it would say, "I don't know that." Okay, that's it, right? Like, that's how it was. Do you
Yeah.
remember those?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, we have I think it's tying into more resources lately.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of
I
wiki
didn't
stuff, though.
I was just gonna say the same thing. According to Wikipedia, and then you just get a whole rundown
Big
of that
blurb.
entire article, yeah. Um,
Hmm.
so I think we're getting there, and I think with some of the AI stuff that's out there, like
Yeah.
Chat GPTs and Bing AI and Bard and all that from Google. I mean, I think it's getting there and it's a lot better.
Yeah. For
So,
sure.
um, I'm happy to see that. Uh, the other frustration for me is that sometimes it's easier to do certain things on a tablet, computer, phone, even, right? And that's not necessarily because it has a screen. It's sometimes that voice is just a little bit more clunky. Um, it's just it takes longer to like shopping, for example, right? Yes, if I have a show device, I can see what I'm about to order or buy, right?
Hmm.
But it's almost easier to do it on my phone or tablet where I can just tap, tap, and tap rather than
Hmm.
have to go through voice prompt, confirm that, double check it, go to the next prompt. Okay, that's it. And it's using which credit card, which debit card.
Hmm.
Well, okay, now I have a gift card that I want to use, right? So then it's like this whole thing. And you would think that for Amazon being a commerce, that avenue of their business, it would be a little bit more streamlined or easier. Um, the other thing too is like with shopping, yes, if I've ordered the paper towels is always the example everybody goes to. If I've ordered paper towels before, I can say reorder paper towels, right?
Hmm.
Um, but I do want to make sure that the price of paper towels didn't explode by like $50 and I'm not
Yeah.
buying paper towels for $80 or whatever,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. It's just so much quicker to just pull out my phone, look at it, click it, yep, and go.
Yep.
Um, so that's one aspect. I'll let you jump in with some of your thoughts, your any frustrations that you have or things that you like, before I jump into my next little talking point, I guess.
Okay. Um, so I'm pretty much right there with you. But I'll do a little elaborating on a few points.
Okay.
Um, for uh the not hearing you correctly, actually happens to me and my entire family a lot.
Okay.
I believe it is the devices themselves. It might be that they're too close together, or maybe the room is too echoey. I'm not 100% sure why.
Mhm.
But like I say, Alexa, put some hot dogs on the shopping list, and uh, it won't do anything. It'll just sit there,
Really?
and then
Y-
I'll like almost forget that I said something, and then wait, did did you understand
Yeah.
me? No, you didn't. So I'll repeat it, and um, and then it'll be like, sometimes it depends on it, if I'm in the kitchen, which is more times when I'm adding stuff to the shopping list.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, it will just show on our little show five uh, that it added it, and it won't say anything. Or
Uh,
sometimes it will say something. Depends on the
yeah.
day,
Yeah.
whatever mood it's in.
Mhm. I've noticed things like
I'm
that as well.
joking. I'm joking. It's not actual AI. It doesn't have good days and bad days. But uh, but then like my son will have a horrible time with this because he listens to music in the shower,
Okay.
and I set up him a playlist. So all he has to do is say, play my list.
Shower playlist. Yeah.
Yeah. And he doesn't do that. He continues to try to play the songs. So
Right.
uh, we do have like the music, uh, Amazon's music
Hmm.
subscription. So we could play actual individual songs, mainly because of him, because
Right.
he
Right.
likes to play individual songs all the time. And he'll be like screaming,
Yeah.
Alexa, play blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then
It's
it'd be
like a
like,
foreign
okay,
language.
I'm playing Kids Bop. And he's like, no, stop,
Right.
stop, Alexa, stop.
Yep. I feel your pain, Will. I know exactly what you're talking about. And
So,
it's funny too because it's like, that stereotype thing where you're talking to someone in another language, so you say it louder and
mm-hmm,
slower like it's going to help anything, and
mm-hmm,
it doesn't. It doesn't.
yeah.
But
So getting it to stop is another gripe.
mhm.
When you do play that wrong song, or uh, once in a while, we don't have it as much now since we changed the wake word. It's not Alexa anymore.
Okay.
So if yours, if you do this, or if it happens to you, change your wake word. But we would sometimes have it like all of a sudden start spewing out some information randomly,
Yeah.
and I'm like, did you talk to it?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
No one talked to it. It's just spewing out information because it thought it
Right.
heard the wake word, and then it was like picking up whatever you were talking about at the time and trying to find something on that topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like the Dr. Pepper was really great. Oh, Dr. Pepper was invented. Like what? No,
Uh-huh.
I didn't
Uh-huh.
ask you.
I know. I've been there and it's weird. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, that's where like all these privacy concerns and whatever
Yes.
come into play
Yeah.
too. But
But
yeah, I mean, would you agree that you're a little frustrated it's not more mainstream, that that it
Oh, for
hasn't
sure. I
caught
mean,
on.
for me as a developer that has, I guess, two big games,
Hmm.
want more users, people.
Yeah,
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 for sure I would love it more mainstream. And like you were saying that in all these phone app stores, there's always an app for anything that you want. But that's not
yeah.
the case for voice. And it's not because people aren't trying to make those apps, because it's just might not be able to be used with voice,
Hmm.
or redone with voice.
Right.
And um, you know, you still don't get that user base. So as a developer, you don't get that satisfaction
Yeah.
as, oh, I have 500 users a day. I'm a baller, uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
or whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, I do.
So,
I do. I mean, you don't. It's not like you can go into your. Uh, so I have an iOS developer account, right? So
okay.
I was playing around with Swift and whatever, and like, yeah, you can look at a lot of those analytics that we get with the Alexa console. You can do very very similar things with that aspect on the Apple platforms, right?
Okay.
And I never published anything out there, but I can say that I feel confident I would have more users even if they accidentally clicked my app than on the Alexa platform, you know. And even though
Especially
I've
with
seen,
Android.
yeah, yeah,
I
definitely with
mean,
Android.
Android's around the world.
Hmm.
iOS isn't as popular as Android. But yeah,
Yeah,
I would 100% agree with you that, yeah, even if you were on iPhone or Android,
yeah,
iPhone, or Apple, there we go,
hmm, hmm,
um, that you would get more users than voice.
yeah,
So, I mean, I guess maybe I see it if they do what they said they were going to do last live.
hmm.
Um, I see it maybe becoming better for developers to get their names out there, whatnot.
Right. The features and featured, platform that they were gonna push,
Hmm.
developers more and stuff like
And
that.
also advertising, that you
Hmm.
can actually pay for advertising.
Yep.
Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it's not to the point of Android or phone apps or anything like that. It's not going
Hmm.
to be anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think it still has a ways to go. My concern, and at this point, I really feel like it is a concern, is that it's just gonna stagnate until something happens where it either explodes in popularity or it fizzles out.
Okay,
So,
so I'm gonna put my uh, futurist hat on.
uh,
Sure,
okay, I see where you're going. Okay, okay,
I see it being a big thing if it becomes a conglomerate of a phone, a tablet, a computer, a voice, all in one thing. You use it for everything.
so Jarvis.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
You have
good deal.
Jarvis on your wrist. You have
Yep.
Jarvis in your pocket. You have Jarvis at in your office.
Okay.
Whatever. Uh, It's everywhere. That
Okay.
is the
So,
time where it will be.
okay. I'm going to take that one step further because we have had Alexa on our computer. We've had Alexa in our phones and all that stuff. I think we can take that one step further in this thought process, and that it integrates into everything.
Yes, that's what I
So,
meant, like a
okay, okay.
conglomerate,
Oh,
where
oh, okay. So it's in
you
your
cannot
email, and
like
it's yeah.
use Microsoft.
Mhm, mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, there should be multiple platforms,
Mhm,
uh,
mhm.
uh, but there's only one store to get all the apps.
Yeah,
And they have to be voice friendly. They have to be mobile friendly. They have to be all friendlies.
right,
You
right.
have to be able to use them on every single thing.
That makes sense. I see what you're saying exactly now. Yeah, and I agree with you. I do. I think because I had Jarvis ready to go. Like that's where I was. Once you were saying all this, I'm like Jarvis, you know.
Yeah.
So I knew where you're headed,
Yeah.
and that's awesome. So
Hmm.
I'm hopeful that it happens, and I'm excited for it. Like I said, I'm in all the way. Um, I do want to get better in things, and I don't know if were you lurking in office hours today at
I
all?
was not. I
Okay,
was a little busy, but
no problem. They had a very good panel of the team on there today, and they had brought up within the first 15 minutes a lot of these retention ideas and discoverability and things like
mm,
that. Um, you know, almost if you're familiar with like SEO, search engine
yeah,
optimization,
yeah.
almost utilizing that in your skill for
Okay.
discoverability and things like that. And I think a lot of what we've been talking about as far as some of the cleanup on the skill store,
Hmm.
I think that is starting to hit some ears a little bit, and I hope so. And that, finding things and filtering, the cream of the crop or whatever,
Yeah.
the good stuff
Top
was.
skills, a fart noise.
Yeah, yeah, I'm hoping that's there, but they had some really good ideas of things that you implement within your skill, um, to bring people back, but, I mean, there are things that we've talked about before, like leaderboards and not hitting someone with, uh, "Hey, do you wanna pay for a subscription?" The first 2 minutes that they've used the skill, wait till that return visit, so, that they're comfortable with it, and then present them with that option. A lot of these things. So they are definitely giving the platform a lot of thought and improvements. And I think that they're really pulling from apps, phone apps, mobile apps.
Okay.
That I think they're using that model, which has
Hmm.
been successful,
Right.
as an inspiration.
Nice.
Now that they've got their foundation and their feet under them, and where I guess their roadmap for where this is going to go. Now they're gonna pull in these features and these ideas and these assets and whatnot, and
Nice.
kind of, like you said, almost make it so that it's so similar to these apps or software that we're using or whatever,
Hmm.
that it's almost a one for one, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, should be good. Should be good to see it.
Nice.
But the last thing I'll say about this is that what we've mentioned a lot. I mean, I don't have a specific number. I'm gonna say 85, 90% of the replies to these questions that were being asked of, "Hey,
Hmm.
are you using Alexa more or less than you were 2 years ago, 1 year ago? What do you use Alexa for? Do you find it useful? If it disappeared, would you care?" Like, these types
Hmm.
of questions, like 90% of them are saying the same things that we are. The biggest thing that people were doing was checking weather, playing music, which is like a smart speaker type of feature, you know,
Hmm.
and smart home things. So those three with lights, like turning lights on and off,
Yeah.
was the biggest thing.
Good.
So those are things that I think maybe you almost have to focus on to keep that platform moving forward and growing or maintaining while you build these other features
Hmm.
that really start to stack on top, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, I think that was a good conversation for us to have on stream,
for
to
sure.
kind of get our thoughts and kind of line things up a little bit. So
Um,
pretty cool.
if you're watching this in the future, please tell us your thoughts on this as well in the comments below. You can also join our Discord
Yeah, yeah.
and talk to us directly and say your thoughts. Um,
And if you're
uh,
watching this like 5, 7, 10 years in the future, let us know if we were right or not.
yeah,
So,
exactly. If I nailed it, I want
right?
one of those things.
Yeah, you want like a royalty thing for coming up
Yeah.
with the idea or
Mhm.
patent or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm making a
Cool.
patent on an idea, even though you
Patent on
can't
an
do
idea. That's
that.
legit. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. So
Well,
let's go to our last section,
yeah.
which is our bean of the week. We normally not normally it's sadly we've haven't had a lot of bean taste tests uh because my thing still doesn't work. So I'm hoping for like a someone to sponsor me with some new streaming or hardware.
There you go. There you go.
But anyways, being the week, I'll let you go, Kevin.
Yeah, sure. So mine's pretty simple, pretty basic. It's a seat cushion and lumbar support. So
Hmm.
this chair here has gotten a lot of use. I've had it for about 3 years now,
Okay.
and it's still comfortable, still good, still works. These
Hmm.
arm things are a little looser than they thought. I thought they should be,
Hmm.
but it's nice. It's good, but um, I'm using it a lot more often. So I wanted to feel a little more comfortable and work on my posture a little bit,
Nice.
and so I picked up a lumbar support and it'll strap. It hasn't come yet, so I haven't
Okay.
gotten the full review. It'll just strap on the back, like right here,
Uh-huh.
and I'll be super comfy, cozy, and then even my butt will be nice, or it'll be more comfortable, I guess is the way to say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, simple, but it's something that I think I need just to be a little more comfortable throughout my work day.
Yeah.
So, and it's cheaper than buying a whole new chair and
For sure.
everything else.
Hmm.
So, unless I was gonna drop money on like a super awesome gaming chair that you see out there. So, but oldie but
Nice.
goodie. We'll just make it a little better with some customizations.
Yeah. Nice.
So, how about you, Will? You have something a little unique this week, don't you?
Yeah. So, some of you may know I went to C2E2, which is Chicago's comic and entertainment convention.
Hmm.
Um, and there is a lot of great celebrity guests there, almost always. And um, a couple of them that are I would like to share with you guys is Kevin Eastman. If you do not know who Kevin Eastman is he is the co-founder of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He drew the black and white um, turtles and came up with the names and all that kind of stuff, along with Peter something. We're just gonna call him Peter. Doesn't matter because we're talking about Kevin. But and uh, he dropped some amazing knowledge that I didn't know about turtles. So I wanted to share that with everyone. I thought it was a pretty cool. So he, uh, like me, uh, was raised in comics, and one of the highly influenced, uh, or he really enjoyed comic was Daredevil, Marvel's Daredevil, and if you don't know who Daredevil is, he is a blind guy that gets taught by another blind guy how to fight, and he uses his other senses uh, to kind of like use like a sonar to be able to walk through the world and fight these guys, um, and um, and so his teacher was called Stick. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles teacher, father figure is named Splinter.
Mhm.
Uh Daredevil would fight this big ninja clan called the Hand. The Turtles fight the Foot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I know there was another. Oh, the way Daredevil gets blinded, uh, there's an accident where there's this chemical reaction. A chemical truck um, uh, topples over and it blinds him. Um, he is like a kid when this happens.
Mhm.
But uh, at that same time, a canister of the same chemical rolled down the hill and went into the drain, where a person dropped a terrarium of four turtles down the same drain and gets ooze and turns them into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wow.
So
Wow.
this was like so mind opening and amazing. I'm glad I went to that talk. It was amazing.
That's
Um,
cool.
I also went to another talk. I should have looked up her name, but the woman that the actress that plays Zai Ling in Shang-Chi,
Hmm.
uh, Shang-Chi's sister, was there, and she
Oh.
was so like down to earth,
Huh.
friendly. Like I've never seen a person like her, an actress, actor, whatever, like her in my life.
Wow.
I've went to many of these uh, things before, and yeah, she was just so down to earth, so friendly, and she was like over joyous of all the people that came to see her,
Right.
and because yeah, I could go
Huh.
on forever about her, but um, uh, and then there is some other things that I did, but one thing that I normally do is I try to pick up a comic.
Yeah.
If it is not a new one, a like a prior Comic Con or yeah, Comic Con uh, uh, purchase. So like the next volume or whatever.
Sure.
But
Sure.
um, I almost didn't buy one. It was the last day. Me and my son went, and uh, he was all giddy too because he actually dressed up as in his Halloween costume. Because
Okay.
people dress up to these things
Oh
all the
yeah.
time. It's a big, big, big thing, and someone actually wanted his picture.
No
So
kidding.
so he was all all giddy. But anyways,
Nice.
I so we were walking through the convention, and I was like, I already spent way too much money at this time, but we stumbled upon this comic, which is called Two Land. Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
we can see it. Why is it so glary? Anyways, it's called Two Land.
Nice.
Um, and it is Two Land comic everywhere on social. So the number two, then Land comic,
Okay.
and it actually has a pretty good uh, good art. It's like kind of simple art, but it's pretty good. Once again, I have a horrible glare. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
and but the main actor or main character is also a student, high school student. So it's kind
Huh.
of like a Spider-Man kind of thing,
Sure.
and he doesn't like bullies. Um,
Understandable.
and but he stands up to bullies all the time, and that's one thing that they are helping to promote. This comic is they go around to high schools and talk about bullying and whatnot,
Okay. Cool.
and you know um,
Yep.
sell these comics. So and it's friendly. It's for younger kids. So me and my son read this when we were waiting for that one actress. Um,
Nice.
so and it's a pretty easy read. Not a lot of monologues or anything like that. You know, I hate.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
uh, that was pretty cool. So I got a comic, but
Cool.
then I'm still good on time. What? And
Oh yeah.
this won't take that long. Um, I'll start with you. I'll show all the other nice things I got. One is Obi-Wan.
That is glorious.
So this is the Obi-Wan figure, a Black Series figure. My son is really into Star Wars, and he's like collecting Black figure Star Wars characters now. So um, I saw this, and I was like, might as well add to our collection, right?
Sure.
Uh,
Sure.
but also it comes with Lola. If you haven't seen the series, it's a little droid that Leia has. Um, uh, then we're gonna switch gears into Marvel. We'll go with these guys first. So this guy is Mordor,
Oh yep. Yep.
Mordo.
Yep. Baron Mordo. Yep.
Yep, Baron Mordo. Thank you. He comes with a crossbow and then a little stick. This is from the Doctor Strange multiverse madness into
Mhm.
madness, whatever it's called.
Yep.
Um, this is the series for them. So I'm building the big green bowl that's in that movie as well.
Okay.
So and this guy is Despair. I don't think I've ever seen
Oh.
him. Have you seen him?
Are we talking from
Despair.
Sandman?
No, this is from Marvel still, I believe.
Oh, okay. Huh. No.
But it does look like a from yeah, from Sandman.
Huh.
Um, and then last but not least, who's my favorite character?
Magic from the X-Men. No kidding.
Magic.
Wow.
She comes with two swords and
Huh.
a bunch of this magic like stuff that you can put on her arms and whatnot. She
Yeah.
also comes with a skull, like a flaming skull that you can change her head out.
Oh
I was
wow.
like, I don't think I've ever seen her like have a flaming skull before. I've seen her like demon out, where
Right.
her horns grow and she looking all demony, but
Right.
not like flaming skull. But I am pretty sure the guy told me the wrong price because last year when I went there, I
Yeah.
said, "How much? Or do you have magic?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think I have the only one in the convention," which he did only have the one in convention. It was $70.
Okay. Okay.
So I was like, "I'll pass."
Yeah.
This year, I was like, going around the people like, "Hey, do you have magic?" And he the first person I asked, he's like, "Yeah, she's $35." I
Sold.
said,
Sold.
"I will buy it."
Yeah. Yeah. They're
I
like,
looked.
you
I looked
know.
on eBay that night.
Yep.
$70.
Hey, it's a
Also,
win. It's a win.
another person had it at a convention, and the box is all beat up. Even though I do open them all up and I
Oh yeah.
play with
Oh,
them and whatnot.
you have to. Yeah.
Well, my son probably plays with them more than I do. But anyways, uh, um, the box was all beat up. That one was $70 too. So I think I got either he had
Made up
tons
all
of them
right.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think
I
you
was
made
pretty
out all
happy.
right then.
I was pretty happy. Now, I pretty much have all my favorites. I have Hawkeye, I have Magic, and I have Thor. So
Perfect.
I'm all set.
Perfect.
I'll
That's
still collect random ones though.
oh yeah. You have to. Nice.
So
That's
that
awesome.
is my all my pretty much all my purchases from C2E2. Uh, and that is why I can't afford to buy any new stuff for my streaming.
Streaming. Cool.
Uh,
Cool.
but
Well, yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Um, if anybody wants to reach out to us and have a discussion on anything that we talk about on stream or just something new and random, or you have any questions for us, definitely reach out to us on Discord. That's a good place to hit us up. Same
sure,
thing with Mastodon. I've been seeing more Mastodon lately.
I have
Typically
been
when you
too.
have your social bar, it's
Yeah,
like always Facebook, Twitter, blah 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 blah. I've been starting to see a lot more Mastodon lately, so that's
same.
nice to see.
That is nice.
But you're on Mastodon at WGEORGIO at AWS community dot social, and I'm at the same except I'm at Kevin Evans. So good stuff.
Perfect.
Good stuff. Um, if you have anything else, Will, otherwise we will catch up with you next week.
That is all. So we'll catch with you next week. And yeah, I don't know what we're gonna be doing, but it'll be fun. So catch you next week, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for hanging out with us. A few last items if you don't mind. Like and subscribe. It's free and really helps support us. Leave a comment about your thoughts on the show. And join our Discord and say hi.